Hey, Anthony Tilley here, and welcome to episode 17 of the Solopreneur Show.
Welcome to the Solopreneur Show with your host, Anthony Tilley. To get your hands on more great business training and advice, plus the chance to join our free Facebook group where you will see extended guest interviews, the opportunity of free one-to-one coaching, and behind-the-scenes access to Anthony, go to www.thesolopreneurshow.com and join us today. And here's your host, the man himself, Mr. Anthony Tilley.
Hey, Anthony here, and welcome to the show. It really is great to have you with me today. Now, today, obviously it's Thursday, so that means it's expert interview day. And today's expert is a real cracking interview. Really is a very, very knowledgeable gentleman, and his name is Mr. Neil Stafford. And Neil has been in the internet marketing world for around 20 odd years now, which, that's pretty much since the dawn of time as far as the internet is concerned. But he shares a really, really fascinating story of how he got started and how he leveraged other people's information, other people's passion and skills to be able to make an income online. And for the last 16, 17 years, he's run a website called Internet Marketing Review that also has a physical newsletter with it as well, which is still something that's pretty unusual these days as well. Not many people do that. And in this interview, Neil really, really gives a huge amount of value and really shares a huge amount of his knowledge, and also as well some niches that you really may never have thought of if you have a particular passion or skill and you're thinking, that maybe this isn't, it's not make money online, who's going to want to know it otherwise? Let me tell you, there's a huge, huge number of niches out there that people have just as hobbies, as their passion, that kind of thing, that really could bring them a great income. And in this interview, Neil's going to reveal exactly how you can do it. So I think it's time for me to keep quiet now and roll the tape, and I'll see you afterwards. I'm joined today by Neil Stafford. Now, Neil, I think, probably runs the longest running physical internet marketing newsletter available today. It's been going since December 2000. And Neil is going to talk to us today about memberships, because this really is the go-to gentleman. Hey, Neil, how are you doing?
Hi, Anthony. Great, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. No problem at all. I'm really, really looking forward to what we're going to talk about today. So the way we usually sort of tend to start, Neil, is our experts give a little bit of sort of background, a little bit of information about, sort of their journey, to use a reality television expression. So, a little bit about their journey and how they got to where they are today. So, if you could share that with the viewers, that'd be absolutely great.
Fantastic. Well, it goes back quite a while, so I'm not going to bore everybody with the full details. But first sale online in 1998. I always have a laugh and say the internet was gas-powered back then. And then full-time since early 2000s, really. So I left a corporate career. But to cut a long story short, if people can remember back to the mid-90s, this thing called the internet was really just taking off, and quite a few people were getting paid an absolute fortune for putting together websites. So the early web designers, if you can remember, it's £5,000, £10,000 or dollars, no matter where you were in the world. And Neil was sat in his corporate life thinking, I can do that. I must be able to do that. Because one of the things I was told as a youngster, really, by a family member who was quite successful, was always have a plan B. So even from 15, 16, I've had a plan B, whether that was working in a Saturday job. I did DJing for quite a while, and that became a plan A. Plan B became a plan A. But so mid-90s, internet came along, thought I can do that. So I toddled off to the shops and I bought the Idiot's Guide to HTML, which was the forerunner to the Dummies books. Mm-hmm. And then I walked into a local computer shop here in Wigan, Lancashire, UK, where I live. And that computer shop is still there to this day. And I said, I want to build websites. And he said, you need Dreamweaver. I went, okay, I'll have it. And he went, it's £300, which is what, $400 or $500 back then. I went, oh, that's a lot. But my DJ money was coming in. So my DJ money paid for Dreamweaver. I bought this book and off I toddled back home and started to try and teach myself how to put websites together. Now, I am not a web designer by any stretch of the imagination. You know, I'm not really a coder. My design skills are a 3-year-old with a crayon. But I actually put myself away in the spare bedroom with the old computer and tried to teach myself how to do websites. And I'm a type of person where I can't just teach myself something from scratch if I've no end game. I need something to go for. Mm-hmm. So my wife still does, but she ran Girl Guides back then. We were taking the kids away on an adventure weekend, and I said, tell you what, get the kids to write up what they're doing, take some photographs, and I'll try and put together a website. And so they duly did that, but remember, there's no digital photography back then, so the photographs had to be scanned, and they didn't type up their notes, did they? No, they wrote it. So Muggins here had to type everything up. And I started to put a website together in Dreamweaver in this book. It was horrible. I'll tell you what, it was horrible, but it was using frames and everything. But we got to a point where there was a little bit of menu and the words were on there, and we scanned the photographs and put them up. And my wife kept saying, is it ready yet? I say, yeah, it's nearly ready. I'm just tweaking it, just finishing it off, just polishing it up. And I don't know how many people can relate to that. You know, you've got this thing, but it's nearly done. You know, and I can't remember who said it. You know, nearly done isn't done.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where she got fed up with me and said, listen, I've got guides on Monday night. We're going around to one of the kids' houses. I want the website ready so we can show everybody. So I said, right, I'm going to do it. Because in my mind, I built up this brick wall which said the hardest part of building a website must be taking it from the computer and putting it up online. How do you take it from this box and put it up online? And I've built this brick wall up. And I think a lot of people do that. Our problems are bigger in our mind than what they really are. But I had the ultimatum, so I sat down, I got the book, and it went, put the website in, put the address in, and put the password in and press go. And that's what I did. Literally, I pressed go, and it went up online. But the valuable thing about that was it taught me a few things. One, your problems are obviously bigger in your mind than what they really are. You build a brick wall. Two, I don't want to build websites. God bless the people who do. Love them to bits. So you've heard me talk about Pete Moore, who works for me. He's been working for me full time since 2008. He's my tech person. I am not a tech person. But it also gave me a high-level understanding of how websites should be together, which means if I ever want to make a change, I could do little changes myself. So that was a big thing that I'd like to say I did it on purpose, but it was by accident. I realized that if you know a little bit to be able to understand, A, how to do some changes yourself, or B, when you ask somebody to do it, you know-ish how long it should take and what's involved. Yeah. But that really opened my mind. But I knew I didn't want to build websites. So at that time, a friend of mine he's still an artist, was an artist. He did his own paintings. And he used to exhibit at local craft fairs or in and around the area. And he was a bit shy type. He said, do you mind coming along with me, Neil, just to keep you company? I said, yeah, what the heck? On a Saturday, I'll go along with him, keep him company and chat to people. And if somebody was interested in his painting, I would take them over to Paul, and Paul would then chat to himself painting. And one time, a lady said to me, literally, she came up to me and says, does he do paintings from photographs? And I went, yes. I had no idea whether he did or not. But, just work it out later on. So I said, yes, went over to Paul and said, listen, I've taken a deposit for this. Here's a photograph. Here's the money. Can you do it? He went, yeah, no problem. So he did the painting. She was really happy with it. And we started doing paintings from photographs. So I suppose that's a bit of introduction to me to advertising, because I did posters, paintings from photographs. And then I said to Paul, listen, we're getting mainly cats, dogs, pets, babies was a lot, obviously family portraits. Why don't we advertise in magazines? We can send people to a recorded message, and we can send out an information pack. And again, I took photographs of Paul's paintings, scanned them, put them in this very crude information pack with an order form. Then obviously, if you think about it, the internet was building up. I tried to build this website. So Muggins here went, right, we can do this. Why don't we send them to a website? Now, let me put this into context. Back then, there was no HostGator or Easy Hosting. Yeah. So I used a company called GeoCities. I don't remember them at all. Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of the original free hosting websites. So I put together this website, and again, into context, GeoCities was like geocities.com / squiggly line 375 dash whatever it was, your name. So this is a horrible looking domain name. So I put together a very basic looking site again with, who is Paul? Here's some paintings. We do it from photographs. And there was no PayPal. And no to checkout, no world pay. To get a merchant account, you had to give blood, your firstborn, agree to pay them for life. It was so hard to do, but that didn't stop us. I called me and Paul dumb and dumber back then. It's either naivety or just self-belief. And we put an advert in a magazine. Obviously, magazines had a lead time, so this little classified ad with a website address underneath. And then we waited and waited and waited. And then I can't tell you, I wish I knew the exact date, but I can tell you the month. It was May 1998 when an envelope came through the door with a check inside for a painting from a photograph. So what somebody had done, they'd bought the magazine, they'd read the magazine, they'd seen the advert, they'd walked over to the computer, they clicked on the computer. Now, 1998, remember, it was like a big handle to watch them up. They then typed in this horrible-looking web address and read through this horrible-looking site, printed off an order form, wrote the order form, wrote the check, wrote the envelope, walked down to the post box and posted it. Imagine asking somebody to do that today. So although the money wasn't taken online, the order was driven online. But again, I look at learning points, and I'd like to say it was by design, it wasn't, but that really introduced me to paying for traffic, because I placed an advert. I paid for the advert to go in, and I drove people online to read the literature. That really opened my eyes to this possibility of this internet thing working. Now, what I should have done is actually really focused on the art side with Paul. But like all of us, we get distracted because I went off looking for a better, quicker, faster way to do it. But on the plus side, that led me to this world of information marketing, which I had come across before then, but mainly offline. Now it was online. And that led me to trying different things. And one of my first information products was actually a tape set, if you remember them. A tape set and a manual about how to clear your debts, because I worked in the finance industry, corporate finance, and there is a way you can reverse how people get into debt by doing it the opposite way around, using the same money that they've got. I did some work in collection, so you saw how people got into debt. So I put together this tape set, which I recorded in my bedroom over a weekend with a simple tape-to-tape recorder with a microphone from my DJ days. I just spoke into it, and then I did a manual to go with it. And we sold that again by having people, we direct mailed a list, sent them online to read a website, and again, they filled out the order form again to begin with. I then managed to get a WorldPay account back in the back end of 1999 was I first got my first WorldPay account. Right. So that enabled me to take orders online. Really, we're entering this new age. And then it developed from there. So May 1998 was first sale, and then we moved into the information marketing back end of 98 and into 99. And we sold numerous different types of information products in different markets just through research. And then where I was working at the time, a friend of mine, who was actually my boss at the time, he ran his own football team, kids football. I walked past his desk one day, and on his desk was what we know as a newsletter. Little, piece A3 paper folded together. We call it a newsletter. I said, what's that? He called it an information sheet. He said, I do it for the parents and the other coaches in the club. So there's a bit about the club, a bit about my team, and the last 2 pages are some exercise and drills that other coaches can do. I said, that's interesting. Now, he knew I did something outside of work, but didn't know what. So I said, I'll take that. So I went away and researched at the time, and I found at that time, so early 2000s, there was people who were interested in knowing how to coach and run a junior football team or soccer team. We were talking worldwide, because most amateur coaches and kids football is parents. That's what it is. Parents who's been volunteered. So I came back to him and said, listen, there's people who would be interested in knowing how you coach your team. He said, get away, I've only been doing it 4 or 5 months. It doesn't matter. People like to learn from people just like them. Because at that time, the only coaching information you could get was from ex-professionals. So to put it into context, the ex-professionals had VHS video cassettes and DVDs were coming in then, where they had perfectly manicured pitch. They had the kids stood to attention, everyone wearing the same kit, listening intently. Now, if you've ever run youth anything, that doesn't happen, especially in
like herding cats.
Yeah, exactly. And the reality is, the coach gets in from work, throws down his or her tee, throws the bibs and the balls in the back of the car, shoots down to the local park, clears off the local kids, goes around and checks for bricks, dog muck and glass to get it off the pitch, and then waits to see, A, how many kids turn up, and B, who's actually bought the kit. That's reality.
Yeah.
So I explained that to him. So I said, listen, I've got 10 questions. Let me interview you. Come up to my house. And it was the old, we've all heard that story about doing it on the kitchen table with your business. That was it.
Yeah.
We sat down at our kitchen table, my trusty tape-to-tape recorder, amplifier, 2 microphones pointing at each other, and I went through the questions that he'd added a few to as well. And when we wanted to stop, we had to, do the old stop, stop, stop. If we made a mistake, none of this digital recording, we had to rewind the tape back to the point where we could start again and record it. Now, put it into context. He'd been coaching for about 4 or 5 months, and he says to this day, he drove up to my house thinking, this is going to last 10 minutes. Actually, we filled 3 C60 tapes over 2 evenings.
Wow.
And he said, I didn't realise how much I've known just 3 or 4 months in.
Yeah.
And so we put a very basic cassette product together. We put a plastic case we could put the tapes in. We coach and run junior soccer teams. The Epson printer, not laser, but inkjet printer for the labels. And we sold it for $24.95. So I put this basic website together. Simple sales letter, one of my first sales letter. Again, I used a template that I found online and put the different bits in. And I used a company back then called GoTo.com, which is one of the first pay-per-click search engines. They became Overture, who then became Yahoo Search Marketing, which is now Bing and Yahoo. And I drove traffic to it. It was silly pence per click, very, very low. Yeah. And we got our first sale. So let me put, again, I love this word context. I need to put it into context. We worked in the corporate arena, and we looked after, we reckoned about 13 to 14 billions worth of funds between us in our businesses that we looked at the joint venture businesses. So I went in that morning, I said to my mate, come here, coffee machine. And I printed out the order. And he always says he was so used to looking at literally telephone number size numbers that $24.95 was his tipping point. So my tipping point was the sale for the painting driven online. That was my tipping point to think, this could work. His was this $24.95, less a few costs, half each was our own money. Yeah. When I work with people, especially the new, it's all about getting them to that tipping point. So the new, it's that first sale. A lot of people I work with have a business up and running already, so it's taking them from 5 a month to 10 a month, from 10 to 20, from 20 to 40. There is tipping points when you get past certain stages in your business. Yeah. And tipping point is that belief. That belief gives you the inspiration and motivation and knowing that you can go further forward. So from that, we developed some more soccer coaching and training products. We moved into CDs, we moved with the times here. And that led us to think, where can this business go? And at the time, we weren't video savvy. We thought, could we do training videos? Well, between us, we weren't video savvy. But I'd gone to a seminar in Las Vegas in 2002, my first internet marketing seminar. I got the email through, and again, it was quite fortuitous actually, because I said to my wife at the time, would you mind if I went to Las Vegas on my own to go to an internet marketing seminar? You can imagine that. Now, she's great. She said, okay then, if you think it's worthwhile. I said, it will be. I said, the second thing is it's on Valentine's weekend. So that didn't go down well either. So I went, and I put that, again, another tipping point in my business, because I sat in that, it was at the Imperial Hotel, which has changed its name now, just back of the strip. And one of the speakers said, you must have a membership site or continuity program in your business. Because it will give you predictable, stable income, which gives you confidence to grow your business. Because with continuity income, when you wake up on the first of the month, give or take a few percent, how much money is going to come into your business without having to make another sale. So I wrote that down. So I put it up here. I had no idea back in 2002 where I was going to bring this in. I thought, okay, then we can do that. And then again, fast forward, junior soccer coach. And I said, why don't we do a membership site on junior soccer coaching? So that's where juniorsoccercoach.com came about. So between us, Neil the other guy was called Neil as well, and 2 Neils as we were known as. He did a lot of the soccer coaching information. I used to play semi-pro as a kid as a goalkeeper, so I did a lot of goalkeeping information and a lot more of the marketing side. So we'd gone from tape sets into coaching manuals, reports and PDFs. We'd also then gone into DVDs further down the line. Junior Soccer Coach grew. We sell merchandise in there as well. So that's been going since 2003.
Wow.
So again, when people think, I could never do that. When we started off, we were the amateurs.
Yeah.
So I believe you can enter a market as an expert. You can enter a market as an authority, or you can enter the market as an enthusiastic amateur.
Mm-hmm.
And you can say to people, listen, I'm just like you. Listen, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to report back what I'm doing to you. Come along for the ride.
Yeah.
And that's basically what we did with junior soccer coaches. Listen, we're just like you. We're not experts back then. This is what we're going to do. And I'll tell you what's working with my kids and what isn't. And I would say over time now, junior soccer coach is now viewed as an authority in the market of youth soccer coaching. And it's not, it's not accredited to the FA or FIFA, but it's an independent site on helping people coach and run junior soccer teams. That one, we worked together, and obviously as we started building that up, more and more people came to us and said, can you show us how to do what you've done, which led to more of the coaching and training side. Again, quite fortuitous, my background, I spent 5 years in training in the corporate world, and ended up running a training department with a team of 20 plus trainers looking after 1,800 staff. So when people started coming to me and said, can you help? It was sort of like an extension of my old training days. But now we have a business where we have products in niche markets, and then we have our what I call the coaching and training side, where we predominantly now focus on helping information marketers introduce a membership site or continuity program into the business, or if they have one already, helping them grow that. Right. So I don't know if that's short or long enough for you, but that's
brilliant. No, that's absolutely brilliant. And I think that one of the key things there for me is, and we hear a lot online, we hear a lot in sort of videos, it's, whatever, if you have a skill, if you have a passion, you can make a profit about it. And I've talked about this on the show, but one of the things, we met before Christmas and we sort of had a conversation about membership. You tell me about the soccer site, etc., and about the paintings, and I laugh because I've done similar things, sort of similar niches, etc. But what I find really interesting is you weren't into painting.
No. You
didn't coach a kids' soccer team. Yeah, you played a bit of football as a youngster, etc., and sort of semi-pro. But you weren't an expert by any stretch of the imagination in those topics. And I think if people can learn marketing, then they can go into any niche whatsoever, can't they? It's just a question of finding the expert.
Correct. I always say, if my philosophy is, I will only go into a market if I personally find it interesting. That's one of my own qualifications. And I'll say to people, you can go into a market, you don't need to be an expert. You don't need to know about that market. But if you're going into a market brand new, my biggest qualifier to you is you better have an interest in it. Because when things go wrong, and they will, your interest in that topic will carry you through the hurdle that you're experiencing at the time. So if you're not interested in a market and you're struggling, and we all have the struggles up and down as we go through business, then it's quite easy to go, well, I'm fed up of that, and just say, right, I'm out of here. However, as we know, going back to something we spoke about recently, Dan Kennedy, you need to move from the doer of the thing into the marketer of the thing. And what that means is most people start their own business because they were the technician of the thing, which means they used to do it in the job or whatever. And when they start their own business, they think, right, I'm just going to do it and sales will magically take care of themselves. No, you then have to switch hats and become the marketer of the thing. So us in information marketing, yes, we can look at any market. And if you understand marketing, human behavior, the psychology behind sales, yes, you can go into absolutely any market. But my qualifier when I speak to people is, if you haven't got a skill or an interest already, then go into a market that you find interesting. And you'd like to find more about it. So I always tell a funny story, which is metal detecting. Now, I'm sorry to anybody who's into metal detecting, but I have no interest in that market whatsoever. I see no pleasure in walking up and down a muddy field or a beach in the rain listening to my ear. However, there are people in that market who spend hundreds and sometimes thousands on the equipment to go and do it.
Okay, I'm going going to pull the curtain down as ever at around about the 20-minute mark, and I'm sure you can see already Neil is giving huge value in that interview, and he goes on to reveal far more as well. He really does give great value. And I'm sure, as you can see, Neil's just an ordinary guy. He's not a big flash guru, anything like that. He's just somebody who has used his marketing knowledge. I know he's been mentored by some very, very big marketers, and he's taken his marketing knowledge and he's helped those people who have a passion, have a skill, to actually turn it into a membership site and to make that continual income month after month. So really is great information that he's sharing there. If you want to hear the rest of the interview, get yourself to the solopreneurshow.com/Neil Stafford, and you'll be able to enter your details there. You'll be able to get a whole load of great free gifts that I've got for you, and you'll also as well be able to get yourself inside of the Facebook group and be able to hear the full interview. Also as well, that you're going to be given the opportunity to join our brand new VIP club, where I really over deliver week after week and really build on the interviews that you are hearing here on the podcast. So I really highly recommend that you check that video out when you enter your details, because it is something that really could make a huge amount of difference to your business and to your wealth. So I think it's time for me to say goodbye for today's show. It's Thursday, and as we're sitting here right now, I'm going to be heading off in the next 24 hours to go and watch Wales versus Italy in the Six Nations. So fingers crossed there for Wales, and obviously I'll be reporting back and let you know how I got on and how Wales got on as well, if you're interested. And I think I'll just leave you with the thought that if you can turn your passion into profit, you really are never going to have to work another day in your life, because what you're going to be doing every day is something that is so much fun. And as Neil shared in that interview, when the goings get tough, you need to be having a business model that is something that you're engaged in, something you really enjoy. So that said, I'll see you again next time, and you have a great weekend. See you. Bye now.
To get your hands on more great business training and advice, plus the chance to join our free Facebook group where you will see extended guest interviews, the opportunity of free one-to-one coaching, and behind-the-scenes access to Anthony, go to www.thesolopreneurshow.com and join us today.